Ngiyabonga somlomo walendlu. Angicale ngokudlulisa emavi envuduto emndenini wakaMthembu, umndeni wakaChief Whip, ngokushiya indvodza kaTyabo Khwezi ngesihluku lesingaka. Sithi kubo bomthembu Dvudvu akwehlanga lelingehli. Ningasabi, ningethuki ngoba ngalokho lokwendekile akusho ukuthi uNkulunkulu unishiyile, kepha unani futhi uyanithanza. Sinani emkhulekweni. Ngimelabe kunene endzaweni lapho bekufanele kume khona Chief Whip, njengoba bekufanele kube nguye lokenda le farewell speech. Nami madolo ayaqeka ngoba njengemtali kubhlungu kubona umtali alahlekelwa umntwana wakhe ngesimo lesibhlungu. Kepha ingosi itasinceda sitakhona ukuthi sichubeke silicede lelanga. Angidlulise futhi kumalunga we-ANC ukuthi lokhu besikuhlelile Chief Whip ucelile ukuthi asichubeke nako namhla in his honor kulesikhathi lesi abukene naso. So ngiyathemba ukuthi sitawuvisisa masichubeka. Somlomo, as we close the curtain of the 5th Parliament and taking the last 25 years of our democracy into account, we must be proud of the road we have traveled as a country. Today, South Africa is indeed a better country than what it was in 1994. And it is even better than what it was when we arrived in this parliament in 2014. As a legislative arm of the state, we have had a very successful term of office where our parliamentary democracy was tested and strengthened. As our democracy is maturing, the people of South Africa have over the past 5 years taken a keen interest in our work as parliamentarians, thereby rightfully holding us accountable. We have seen massive interest in our legislative and public participation processes. We have had marches to parliament and protests. All these actions of popular struggle by the masses of our people are indicative of a working and fully functioning parliament within the context of a maturing democracy. As the ANC, we are particularly proud of the fact that we have been able to improve the lives of our people through passing very historic and progressive legislations. We can applaud ourselves as the collective of the legislators for having processed 107 pieces of legislations from 2014 to date. Among these is the historic National Minimum Wage Bill, which set the wage floor of 20 rand per hour, thus improving the wages and living conditions of 6 million workers who earn slave wages, which are far below the prescribed national minimum wage. Another historic piece of legislation passed in this term of parliament is the political party funding. Lena siyati ukuthi yendelwe ukuthi vele kungabi nebantu labatozama ukuthi babuyisele emuva tonke letindo lesiye satizuza ngale demokrasi yethu ngekuthi lamanye amave angakhona kungenelela abesaxhasa labanye ngetimali labangafuni ukuthi sichubekele embili silive laseMzantsi Afrika. Thanza kusho futhi ukuthi siphasise nelenye futhi umthetho we-Financial Matters Amendment Bill leto wenda ukuthi uhulumende abe nelibhangi lakhe. Leli ngeke futhi lizuzise yena uhulumende kuphela kepha ebantu bala eSouth Africa. Siphinze futhi siphasise nemthetho we-Public Audit Amendment Bill lo empower Auditor General ukuthi akwati ukuthi ahambe ayothatha athathe timali kulabo bantu noma ku-attach tinvo tabo lebanato ukuze arecover imali ya government. So yonke lena ilimitheshwana lesiye sakwati ukuthi siyiphasise. Siphinze futhi sibonile singilendlu yesishamthetho somlomo siye sakwenda ukuthi futhi sibe nale committee le Constitutional Review Committee leliye laba emva kokuba i-ANC ku National Conference yayo siye sasho ukuthi umhlaba awubuyele ebantwini ngaphandle kwencepheteliswa. So siye saba nalelo committee lelo leliye lahamba iSouth Africa yonke. Lenda lawo ma public participation sabuya futhi sabe sesiba futhi ne ad hoc committee. Le kungiyo le itobuka itobuyeketa umthetho sisekelo wethu le section 25 le itovumela ukuthi sibuyisele umhlaba ebantwini njengoba kufanele wantshontshwa ngithi siyakwathi lokho siyavalelisana kodwa kufuna sikhumbutane kuloko uye wakusho ke uhulumende lophethwe ngeANC ngamongameli washo ke ukuthi umhlaba lophethwe ngohulumende utawukhulula for human settlement purposes njengoba sathi ukuthi kunebantu labahleti emaplazini emhlabeni lophethwe bantu ma private properties laba ngavumelekanga khona ukuthi uhulumende angaletha tinsita akhele bantu tindlu sikubonile njengoba sihamba sikhankasa leto tindzawo tikhona kepha ukhona umhlaba wahulumende lohleti lapha sithi lo mhlaba njengoba ashito mongameli awukhululwe kuze bantu bakithi batokhona ukuthi bawusebenzise bakhelwe tindlu bafakelwe emanti bafakelwe nagezi kuze siqhubeke siye embili. One of this Parliament's many watershed moments in the last 5 years was the adoption of the implementation of the new and overall rules of the National Assembly. The adoption of the new rules was the culmination of a lengthy process intended to enhance the governance of the business of the House and to align it firmly with the Constitution, current conventions and practices. We tightened the rules of debate and rules of conduct of members in the House to ensure consistency and order during the sittings of the House. We are witnesses to what have been happening in this House for the past 5 years. We don't have to rehash that. It is for the first time since this democratic parliament was convened in 1994 that Parliament has an avenue to remove any person who acts in a gross disorderly manner using the rules. This ensures that the Parliament of the Republic of South Africa maintains its dignity as the legislative arm of the state representing the people of South Africa. Moving forward, we must as a country start to prepare ourselves for the next 5 years. And we must start with an architecture of our next parliament. We must start thinking about the kind of new parliament we would like to have, what kind of infrastructure it must have, the culture and proceedings we want to introduce, and where its location ought to be. Our current infrastructure does not adequately cater for our needs as a legislative arm of state. Joint sittings of the two houses of parliament are impractical due to the space constraints. Often committee rooms are not big enough for us to hold meetings and host members of the public for public hearings. The institution is also forced into leasing space from nearing hotels at exorbitant costs. The discussion around the location of the seat of parliament, as previously announced, must be concluded. The financial resources used to fly MPs, members of the executive and their support staff in and out of Cape Town on a weekly basis could, in the long run, be redirected towards the delivery of services for our people. Our parliament must also have better officers. We have a responsibility to build this parliament to be consistent with our democracy, including our restrooms. During apartheid, parliament was meant for males, white males to be precise. As a democratic state, we thus have the responsibility to build a gender-sensitive parliament, a parliament which recognizes the needs for child-rearing facilities for members of parliament who are caregivers. For Parliament to do its oversight work adequately, it must have world-class research, legal and other professional capacity assisting committees of Parliament with content in order for the oversight work not to depend on those we are overseeing. We must have an independent ability to do oversight over the executive. This requires adequate investment in human resources. Therefore, the manner in which Parliament is funded as an arm of state must also seriously be reviewed. On behalf of the Office of the Chief Whip, we thank the ANC for having given us the opportunity to learn, grow and lead. We also thank the members of the ANC Parliamentary Caucus for their support. Our Thursday caucus meetings were characterized by robust debates and sharp political engagements. Though sometimes we differed on political matters, we remained true to the policies of our glorious movement. The task to lead in the ANC is never one which is carried out by one individual. Hence, in the ANC, we do not have I in our vocabulary. We speak of we precisely because we have an appreciation that the collective takes precedence over the individual. We therefore thank our comrades in the different leadership structures of our caucus for their collective support, wisdom and dedication in service of our movement and the people of our country. We thank comrades in the political committee of caucus, led by the Speaker, the ANC strategy, our whips and chairpersons committee and ANC study groups. We also thank our colleagues from other political parties for their camaraderie and over the past 5 years. Our engagement in the Chief Whips Forum, the National Assembly Programming Committee meetings, and even the chamber floor have always been honest and robust. I therefore thank my colleagues from the other parties who regularly participated in the Chief Whips Forum, ensuring that we collectively go about the business of Parliament through consultations and consensus. Though we all carried a different political mandate, it has been through our collective efforts that Parliament has been a functioning Parliament. Over the past 5 years, some amongst us have fallen prey to cheap political point scoring stunts, often leading to totally unacceptable and unparliamentary behavior. Those who will be fortunate enough to be given another opportunity to return to Parliament as public representatives must always remember that you are not representing your jacket, but the electorate who gave you a political mandate to be here. We thank the executive leadership of Parliament as led by Speaker Mbete in the National Assembly and Metandi Modise in the National Council of Provinces for having demonstrated astute leadership over the past 5 years. The exceptional leadership of these two outstanding women bears testimony to the saying that watinta bafazi, watinta imbogoto. Though our conduct as MPs has sometimes given our presiding officers grey hairs, they continue to conduct themselves in the most professional manner. Over and above our sharp contradictions as parties, we have also had funny moments in the last 5 years. We remember humorous moments such as Honorable Member Withdraw Delela and Honorable Member, I do not recognize you, where do you come from? Which have become social media jokes with the faces of our presiding officers. We can also be proud that our Parliament was this week featured in the internationally acclaimed The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, where Trevor relayed his experience of receiving warm welcome when he visited our Parliament as the President's guest. As parliamentarians, we are nothing without the support of the individuals who are employed in our political party caucuses and Parliament as an institution. We thank the hard-working patriots who have served this Parliament with absolute distinction. We want to especially thank the staff of the ANC Parliamentary Caucus, who are the bedrock of the ANC in Parliament. We would not have had all these achievements had we not had a dedicated cadreship serving the movement here in Parliament. As this Parliament rises today, we rise missing 19 members whom we started this journey with, who started this journey with us 5 years ago. May we rise for a moment of silence, Honorable Speaker, to remember Umam Nosipho Ntwanambi, ANC NCOP, Dr. Mario Ariani Ambrosini, IFP, Yolanda Puota, ANC, Dlakude Nkwana, ANC, Minister Collins Shabane, ANC, Eugene von Brandes, DA, KS Mubu, DA, Raisibe Eunice Nyalungo, ANC, Bonisile Nesi, ANC, Trevor Bonomi, ANC, Timothy Koza, ANC, Tanya Baker, ANC, Beatrice Ngobo, ANC. Oh, Tanya Baker, DA, pardon. Beatrice Ngobo, ANC, Fezeka Loliwe, ANC, Mamwini Matikizela Mandela, ANC, Sbusiso Khatebe, ANC, Zelda Youngblood, DA, Nogukaya Adelaide Mnisi, ANC, and lastly, Minister Edna Mulewa, ANC. May their souls rest in peace. The contributions of these honorable members of parliament in service of the people of South Africa